Matter of fact, I go Japan soon to represent with Osam.
And that.
And die. Yes, for real. Yo, but it's good to always, whenever you come to New York, you call me or DM me and say, yo, Prancer, I want to see my brother. I want to get jerk chicken. I want to link up. Go to your home and represent. You know, so always, you know, anytime, a lot of people know in Flatbush too, anytime I have my Flatbush parties, they might see Yohei in the circle dancing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I had my, what was it like, on my 45th birthday party, you, Osam, and Dai came through, and Killer. Yeah, hi, go by. All day, for real. Shout out Rubber Band, shout out Marquez, shout out Peekaboo. For real, yeah. But it's good to have you here. And I like you always represent the original dance style.
Thank you.
Yes. Your whole Supreme Goodman, your whole team represent always. You know what I mean?
Always.
Yeah, all day.
So, bem-vindo, that means welcome in Portuguese. Welcome to Been There Rock That. This is a special episode. We got the drinks.
Yeah.
We actually got the new insignia.
Oh, we got the logo. All right, you already. And tell you the truth, we got that sponsorship from True Wine Connoisseurs. Salute to Will Tell and Sadat X for bringing that through for our 50th celebration.
Thank you guys. We're gonna drink it all.
You facts.
In a second.
I think this is the Corvina. Yeah. So we gonna pop that once our guests come through, and Flatbush out. We gonna bust some legal shots today for real. Cause we got a soldier that come in that came from the ground up that still carrying on the torch for Flatbush and making it shine and illuminate out there for real in a good way. You know what I mean? For real, but until he come through the door, he in traffic and stuff like that. You know how these New York streets is right now, especially on Palm Sunday. Everybody trying to go get their palms and go run and go to the tailor from now for Easter. Like, yo, make sure my dress nice, make sure my hat good, make sure my suit tight. That's how dudes is for Easter, and you gotta get the kids' suits right.
I don't know. I'm not religious, so.
I feel you, but a lot of them, that's how. Yeah, man. Yeah. All that's what we got. Is spirituality out there, if anything in the hood. You know what I mean? We got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Everybody got strong beliefs in something, and they just trying to believe in that one to just try to get them out of whatever rut they in. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah. So, let's see. That was good. This week, what did I do? Wale Mania.
Woo!
We were there. Shout out to Kaz, shout out to Wale, shout out to Emilio Sparks.
True indeed. Shout out to you for the product placement.
Oh yeah.
With Ralph Lauren for Emilio Sparks.
Thank you, Ralph, for supplying me with what was that, cross flag?
Yeah, cross flag. Salute the cross flag. Yeah, the white and blue.
That's like one of your favorite
symbols. Yes, sir.
And we had Emilio looking fresh.
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
it was a great event. You guys missed it. It was part of WrestleMania weekend. We met a lot of wrestlers. Prince don't really like wrestling, so he just was like, "Yo, I'll take the picture for you."
Right. Right. And going up and pulling up because they was regular cool dudes. Because they was like, "Yo, what's up? Everything good?" Because they see us backstage, but they just being gracious enough to salute us, not knowing who we are. And then I'm just like, "Yo, John, you want to take a picture with them? Yo, bro, take a picture with my man." He's like, "Oh, no doubt." So humble pie. You know what I mean? That's how the world gotta be, for real. So it's good to see them dudes that be doing whatever they doing as like rough and tough type shit, but have a kind heart to everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Everything ain't a match.
It was a great night.
No doubt.
Other than that, I went to another show at Madison Square Garden, the G1 Supercard. It was a New Japan Ring of Honor. Awesome show.
Didn't you get some fresh kicks too? Some feelings?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you gotta talk about it. Oh man.
I'm still
This
listen.
guy be moving and shaking. I gotta.
I still gotta get my New Day sneakers from Emilio. He has the board.
Got you.
But I do have the WWE feline joints.
Nice.
You know, shout out to Louis Cologne.
No doubt.
Even though,
all day.
you know, I had to get them through my way.
It's all good.
You know, but still, shout out to Louis Cologne. He's doing his thing out there with the collaborations.
Sure did.
Other than that, man, it's just been out here. You know, we've been trying to get this episode 50 together.
Yeah, it's always been a little trials and tribulations.
I
But
do
you know.
have a couple of things to say about this. You know, with people with like, and I've actually said this before on episode 48.
Right.
How you say that people are like priorities and options. So, just in life in general, don't make nobody a priority if they see you as an option. You know?
Messy.
And, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad, but it's just the reality of it all. Like me and my brother here, we put a lot into this platform,
Sure did.
and we would like you to respect the platform.
No doubt.
And not just take it for a joke, and just, you know.
No, and at the same time, bro, it's like, just be a man of your word. Like, that's all we got out here together. It's like, yo, fam, yo, I'm watching what y'all doing, yo, I'ma set up, yo, and giving us incentive, like, yo, y'all episode 50, I'm doing, for real, if y'all could get to 50. And this is when we had, like, episode 10 and 12. So we like, yo, if we could do that, you see who we could get? Nah, we gonna get there just for that. You know what I'm saying? And then when we do and show and prove that we held up our end of the bargain, you now want to come pull up on your end of the bargain? Like, come on, son. I thought we was better than that. Especially with the relationships you have with my bro from whatever. And then with me, just being in, you know, cordial to each other and saluting each other for grown men and husband and fathers and stuff like that. Like I like, don't give me a personal number if you ain't gonna respond to your personal number, King. Trust and believe. Like, I'm not that type of dude. You know what I mean? My number never changed since any time in this business. I always been able to pick up my phone. So don't just don't disrespect a nigga like Prince, for real. That's it. Bottom line. You know, on big man thing. On big man thing. Not even on no other shit. Just on something like love is love. Like, come on, son. I thought we was better than that. But other than that, this, yo, we good. Yo, been there, rock that is.
Yeah, so you know. That's only.
Yo, I'm getting my merch together. I told you,
right.
yo, people. I think if you follow me on IG, I did some Prince Low exclusive joints when I'm going out to Links 2 in Osaka, Japan. They have an event for the documentary, so I'm definitely going out there to represent. I think I put a little sneak preview of the video on my IG, and people been like, yo, that shit look dope, because it is dope. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told. So I'm just going out there to spread my love, but I got some exclusive Prince Low t-shirts that I got coming out that is like snapshots of my documentary Wrecking Shop that we did from back in the days in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is definitely it's like a landmark picture of one where I'm dancing in front of my mom's crib, where like people come from Japan just to pull up to my mom's crib because they know like legendary dudes like Marquess, Keto, Rubber Band, and Prancer, and you know, other people that was in that documentary still synonymous with that Mom Duke's crib. You know what I mean? Just cause they was in the video. You know what I mean? So, I mean, everything is looking up and up. So, we leveling, we upping our stocks on our own. So treat us as such. You know what I'm saying?
It's coming to the point where we do wear a lot of polo.
Yeah.
But it's gonna come to the point where we're gonna be wearing our own stuff.
True indeed. True indeed.
It's getting to the point where we just
shout out my dude Barfield, Barfield, New York. You know what I mean? Because it take a village. You know what I mean? So it's not a one man gang. Trust and believe. So, oh no, I got the
Oh, you got the
the official opening and all of that. You know, I was just waiting for the time to be right, but you know, yeah, man, what's good, John? Keep on talking that talk.
So yeah, you know, just like no hard feelings because we don't hate nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, just it has to be a certain way. Stuff has to work a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, respect has to be given both ways. So other than that,
they got to be functional.
Yeah, pretty much. But other than that, you know, we just episode 50. Did you ever think we'll make it to 50 episodes?
Nah, I tell you the truth. Well, I knew we would make it, but who would be here to stand on episode 50, Mountaintop? I didn't know who would be here. Mm-hmm. That should be my answer to it.
Right.
But I'm just glad me and you here, and we pushing forward because everybody knows the same plan. It ain't like me and you be hiding stuff on what we want to do and how we want to see Been There, Rock That. Right. Everybody knows. So if you think it's a positive and something in a forward direction that you think you want to be on, you should, and we giving you a chance to be on the team, you should take knowledge and respect that. You know what I mean? Because you don't know where this shit could go, especially in this podcast world. As you told me from episode negative, no episode, you was in my ear because I didn't know nothing about podcasts, the world, how it was structured, what I was gonna be doing on one. You know what I'm saying? But you guided me and you simplified it for me to know and carry myself and conduct myself where I could walk in these streets and people could come up and be like, yo, I heard your episode, you said a good message on such and such subject. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. You know what I mean? I like that where it's not me walking through the streets like when I was younger and be like, yo, I seen you on stage dancing, yo, you was killing the dance. Now they hearing what's coming out my mouth more than what's coming from my feet.
So let me ask you a question. Does it bother you that people come up to you and ask like, yo, I heard you on the show, or you know, like does it bother you, or is it weird to you?
Nah. It ain't weird to me because it's always been happening all my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm used to that. But it's just used to just them acknowledging what I'm saying. Right. You know what I mean? And me knowing that I'm part of something that's bringing up good guests, that's bringing up another side of them that the people out there in the street probably didn't hear until they came to Been There, Rock That. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They probably ain't know somebody like Large Pro would like being an artist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? On canvas. Nice. You understand? You would think we would be asking generic questions on what everybody else asking, which you probably tired of asking. But now you getting a different convo on Been There, Rock That. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, everybody has growth, and everybody wants to do better.
Right.
You just don't want to be the same person forever.
Yeah, you want to elevate. Facts.
You know, you can't be this what is it? Slides. What is it? Layout king.
Yeah. Nah.
You have to progress to, you know what I'm saying, Super Saiyan layout king.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You got to keep on going.
Nah, you're right about that.
But yeah. Other than that, shout out to Marissa. Her birthday is this week. You haven't met Marissa. I have to introduce you.
No. And I ain't mean to cut off Marissa
yeah.
birthday shout out.
Yeah.
But yo, shout out, going back to the logo, shout out to the man Niso that kept his word, that said in 1 week's time he was getting us a new logo. Yeah. And so said, so done. It's on the screen now. Yeah. That's a salute.
Because this is actually the last show of season 3. Yes. So when we reconvene, we will be on season 4.
True indeed.
And the first episode is actually going to be a part 2 of episode 49. Because it's already done, ready to go. This episode will probably come out first, and then we'll roll out. So,
sure. And
Prince will be in Japan.
Yay! Arigato gozaimasu. Sugoi. Prancer Tour 2019 with Supreme Team. What? Supreme Goodman, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Listen, let's just tell Prince.
Making yen with my friend.
Let Prince behave. He gets in them streets, you know.
Woo!
Super Prince.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, son.
We're trying to open this wine.
Yeah. We gonna get it.
To get it
We
going.
gonna get it. It's one of them other joints.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out to Teresa out in San Jose doing her thing.
No doubt. Shout out to you.
She was looking fabulous. She went to the show. She went to the Warriors game. She's living out there.
Oh, word.
Yeah, she's doing big things. Shout out to Teresa. We appreciate it.
Yeah, she always holding us down though.
Yeah.
She always holding us
Yeah,
down.
we
That's
appreciate
a fact.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Fighting up with this wine though.
Yeah, man. I don't know who's winning that battle over there, but
I just don't want it to be a lose on the Versace's.
nah, you don't want that. Also, currently I've been recording. I'm downloading episode 49 for the YouTube, so it will be up shortly, so you guys can visualize what we were talking about on last episode.
And Prancer win the battle.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
So boy,
You see?
red wine. Yeah, man.
Here I hits the cup.
I got you, bro.
Wine?
Wine.
Oh.
From
Wine.
Sadat X, Brand Nubian,
Yeah.
make wine.
Oh. Sounds like.
And Will Tell, my two brothers, low life brothers. So Sadat, you see on picture, Sadat and Will Tell. Yeah. Ooh, you like that, huh?
Nice.
You ain't even wait for the cheers.
No.
That's how that true wine connoisseur do up. You don't even wait for the cheers. You just be like, nah, I need to sip first.
Take a slow
Let me
sip.
get a little sippy sip. Yo, salute to the sponsors, two true wine connoisseurs, and episode 50.
Salute.
You already know. Kampai.
Kampai.
Yes. That's cheers in Japanese. If you don't know, you know. Sugoi is good.
Speaking all these
You know what I mean? Sugoi. That means good.
Speaking all these languages.
Hi. That means yes.
Oh, shit.
Oishi means good.
Oishi.
Means good.
I see your boy got his little P-wing outfit on.
You see that?
Doing good.
You know.
Doing good out in these streets.
But when he represented the P wing means Prancer stay fly. You're ready, boy. Yeah, that one. Ooh. Make it want to take your jacket off.
It's a little.
You make it want to take your jacket off.
Just a little bit.
Yo, salute. Dottie out in North Carolina.
So he found
Chilling. Nah. He just out there chilling, making some music, hitting the radio stations, making it be known. They got the XL album going out with El Sensei, you know. Shout out Sun Lo and the IAC fam. They had a showcase out in Philly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last night was lit. Yeah. Shout out them. They always doing their thing. They always on tour, pushing that music. You already know. For real. Shout out Fly Spread Masters.
We gotta shout out the guy that gave us patches in the lobby.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we run our customization shit.
Let them know.
And we just customize in a way. A lot of Been There Rock, that customization is coming out too.
Yeah.
So, and the Prince Low brand, which is gonna be awesome. So you guys,
Indeed.
you know, better support.
But that's the thing. I'm dropping it in Japan, but I'm coming back. I want to do a pop-up shop. Me and Classic from RLPC is talking about doing a pop-up shop of just people in the low culture, but have their own brand and having a table up there and just a collective. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do, you know, a couple of DJs come through, do their sets. People just come through, get something to eat, and buy a tee, buy a hat. You know, a lot of people and that's family to me got their own movement going on. You know, shout out Pascal. She got PPP artwork. You know, she got like artwork on dresses, sundresses, t-shirts, stuff like that. So, you know, shout out Brickface. He out there, Squash Low. Shout out Classic. Got respect levels.
Right.
You know what I mean? And 90s. And shout out Unique with Twizzy Life. You know what I mean? And shout out a lot of dudes that's doing their numbers. You know what I mean? So we definitely gonna open up and do have some dates with that when I come back from Japan.
Yeah, 'cause we do have a couple of options to have live shows. Well, actually, we do have a live show coming up in June with Audrey Schill. We're going to be interviewing her. She has a presentation. She did a Ralph Lauren, like the sketches for like the clothes for like 20, 25 years. So we want to interview her at the event.
No doubt.
So that's one of the many things we want. We got like a little Apple Store thing coming.
Oh yeah, that one. I wanted to talk to you about that one too, but yeah, keep that one on the wraps. But that's good.
You know,
that's a blessing.
So we got a couple.
Who I've told about it, they've been in my ear, and I was like, yo, my bro ain't been in my ear. They emailed him, so I'm gonna just let it be like that. He ain't gonna let me know unless it's ready.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's all good. It's,
yeah.
just that it's kind of far out.
Right.
For their standards, but when it gets closer, you know, they'll be in contact with us.
But even homie, like you said, that passed through the studio that gave us them patches with the wire patches and the hot shit, Angel Prince.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
Angel
out,
Prince
man.
all day.
Show,
Matter of fact,
show love.
I was thinking back now, he was at the Low Trade Show this year with a table with mad P-Wing, big, small, whatever you need, he had patch-wise. So, you know, and you know that's the wave right now. You know, Ralph got like one jacket that got like 80 patches on it. That's what it looked like. But then again, if you spin back to the Bury Me with the Low On book, and you go to Prince Low section, then you see me by, I think I was in, I forgot the Queens location. I did a photo shoot out there, but I had a jacket, a 92 jacket with mad patches that I had put on in that book. And then all of a sudden, then my boy started pulling up with enough patches on jackets I didn't notice. He wasn't doing that before, but hint, son, I watch you, I see it. There's nothing though, I like it.
You know what that's about, bro.
No doubt, I like
Listen,
it.
you're an influencer, and you know you influence. They just need to cut the check. That's all.
Yeah, man, for real.
But I knew I had to show you something. So yesterday I was in.
Oh, I'm in the lobby. I don't know about the studio. All right, give me a minute.
So Prince is going to get our guests. So.
Chata mate. That means just a minute.
Yeah, we're just out here, episode 50. We got a new fancy sign, nice old thank you. You did your work. Yeah, we're gonna have some new T-shirts coming out. We're gonna have what else? We're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff coming up. It's just in the woodworks. The Prince Low brand. It's gonna be awesome, guys. But anyway, like I was saying. Like I was trying to tell Prince when he walked out, he's going to get our guest. This place called Dube Soho. I don't know if you guys know it, but Dube Soho actually makes statues of you. It literally is like a 3D. They take a picture of you, like 45 pictures of you, and they make a little statue of you. And it's dope. Like if you really wanna like have a family member or you know your daughter or your mother, anybody. I just think it's awesome. Or you can make one of yourself and flip it and sell it on eBay like everybody else does. Yeah, when Prince comes back, I'm gonna show him. It's awesome. So I hear them.
Still out here doing what we do.
You already.
What's going on?
You can't let up on them.
What's good, man? How you doing? Peace.
Pleasure, bro.
What's going on, man? Peace. What's up?
Oh, Mo. Either one.
Take that.
This my boy Yohei from Japan.
Okay. What's up, man?
He out here pushing a DVD that we had did, a dance documentary from my mom's crib called Links 2.
I think I saw a clip of it.
Yeah. So we trying to reminisce and get back into that, like how we did it in the 90s. You know what I mean? That's what they be always, they on, that kind of way. You know what I mean? So.
But you know, and that's what people don't get. Sometimes in order to go forward, you have to go backwards.
Sure indeed.
You know what I mean? And you have to revisit, because it seems to me like we've lost a lot of the core principles, and the only way for us to truly move forward is actually to go backwards and to revisit what we've known. Because that's the funny thing with technology, man, is like, as you move forward, you lose what's important.
No. Love that.
Yeah, I'll take some cranberry.
As I heard he doesn't drink.
Yeah. Stop drinking.
Nah.
2 years. 2 years.
now. God bless.
That's awesome, bro.
Keep going, man.
Trust me, that's
For real.
awesome.
He was like, yo, cranberry and great,
ginger ale.
I got you, man. I got you in the
I've
best.
never had the cranberry.
But for our episode 50, Sadat X and Will Tell, you know they got a wine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, this is they joint. True wine connoisseurs. So whenever they doing like a function or whatever,
This is it.
they always, yeah.
Matter of fact, since I always cue them in, Prince, you cue them in.
Yo,
You tell
this
them
would be
who's here.
an honor to cue in. You know, it's been a while. I've been trying to get my Flatbush Ike in here.
And who is he?
We want to go Cloud9 TV. We want to go
He has like 20
Rafe
He has like 20
from
names.
Money and
He
Violence.
has like 20 names.
We want to go writer, cameraman,
Actor,
actor, director. The list goes on.
fly guy,
Motivator.
Yes.
Name it, whatever you want to name it.
entrepreneur.
Moses.
Yes, sir.
There you go, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, because I always
Yes.
cue people in. So it's been 49 episodes that I cue people in. So I said, you know what?
Well, you know what?
And you know, matter of fact, and an extra credit because I got my boy D Bucks
What's good?
in the building. Is that mic on? Or
You gotta get closer to you.
Yo.
Nah, I ain't hearing them. Hold on. We could get
I have to get Reds to come.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
she'll
we-
turn it
all
on.
right. Yeah.
And you know what?
Yo, I appreciate you coming through also, because that's a blessing. You already know.
Thanks for
So
having me.
2 Flatbush man in here around holding me down. Well, go on, my life.
And I must also say that it's actually an honor, you know what I mean, to be introduced by you, because, bruh, you remember
Oh, of course.
us
Yeah.
sitting in the crib and like, hold on, that's a fisherman vest? Like, hold on, that's a bed, that's a stadium? Watching that, you know what I'm saying, Breaking in the Doughboy video, you remember that, and Toss It Up, and us sitting there like, proud, like, hold up. You know what I'm
Seeing
saying?
the remix of that reggae one was Church Hat remix too, like
Breaking in the
you already
Doughboy,
know.
That was
yeah,
my favorite. That was my
yeah.
favorite. The reggae.
Reggae joint.
That
Yeah.
shit used to bump.
So at the same time, I must say I pay homage to you, brother, as I do every time we cross paths.
No doubt.
You understand what
True
I mean?
indeed.
Because
From day one.
from day one, my G, because that's what it's all about, and I think that that's what a lot of people tend to forget, because one of the things I always say is, no matter how big you get in this world, you know, your father will never become your son. You understand? And always pay homage to those that laid down the foundation. I don't give a damn how big in the stratosphere you get. Never forget who paved the way for you to be able to do what it is that you do.
That's right. So, Mo, so how have you been doing? I mean, you did the Money and Violence. I know you write a few things.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I mean, I'm good, man. The film path, in all honesty, was something totally new for me. I'm sure, I mean, we're all from the same neighborhoods. I believe that, you know, we're all from the exact same neighborhood all across America, no matter what city you're in, Brooklyn, and whether it's Brooklyn, whether it's California, whether it's Chicago, any which place, we're all from the exact same neighborhood because we all face the same challenges, and we all come up, you know, in the same disenfranchised, lack of resources and things like that. So the whole film route, my entire life, I had always been trying to find a way to delve outside of the things that I had been involved in, because the things I had been involved in all my life weren't really on the up and up. And it went from me doing music, that didn't work, to me doing a clothing line, that didn't work, to me doing a website, that didn't work, to writing 2 books. And right when I was about to publish those, I decided to go the film route. I just literally woke up one day, picked up a camera, and decided to do this. Not only did I shoot it, act in it, direct it, learned how to edit off of YouTube tutorials, and put the entire project together. And I only wore as many hats as I did because I didn't want to ever put the power in anyone else's hand to stop what it is that I'm trying to do. And you know, by the grace of God, I mean, this worked out. I can't take credit for it because, like I always say, success is too big a blessing for any human being to take credit for. You understand? So all I can do is put in the effort, but God has to do the rest. So by the grace of God, you know, this entire thing worked out, and it's been an interesting ride. You know, it was a hell of a transition at the beginning for me to be comfortable with going from pretty much living in the shadow to putting myself in the forefront, because that's not anything, you know, that I was ever comfortable with. The way that I lived my life, I was always in the cut. You know, so for instance, when we did Money and Violence, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, that was a genius idea! You guys putting your Instagram handles, you know, on the credits," not realizing the only reason I did that was because I wasn't comfortable with my government name being out there. You understand? And I mean, I think that touches on us, right? As a people and the way that we grow up, right? Because just to use this as a pathway to get into this whole new series that I'm doing, The Spot, because The Spot is about transition, right? And so many things that we learn and the ways that we're molded growing up in these neighborhoods that we grow up in, we never realize that we can't really thrive and succeed in the real world living by the rules that we learned growing up.
By those codes.
Yeah, by those codes. You understand what I'm saying? And we never realized that our neighborhoods are an infantile speck in comparison to the world. And you cannot, you know, the hood kind of fools you into thinking that its rules are the laws of the land. It's not. It's not at all, you know. So my transition at first was hard, but you know, I've been good, man. I've been good. I've done a lot. I had a deal with Stars, a developmental deal for Money and Violence, and for the past 2 years we had been developing the new season. I actually had just worked on a project with Forrest Whitaker. They have a series coming out called Godfather of Harlem. And it's based on, I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with who Bumpy Johnson is. He was this old gangster from Harlem. And we did an entire series. It's coming out on the Epix channel in October. It's going to be amazing because not only does it deal with the Harlem underworld, but it's the clash of the Harlem underworld with the Italian mob and the civil rights movement in the 1960s. You have very interesting characters. You have Adam Clayton Powell, you have Malcolm X in this series, you have Bumpy Johnson, you have the Italian mob, you have Vincent Cingigante, you have Frank Costello. I mean, real interesting stuff, man. So I've been good, man. I just been working, man. Just been working. You know what I mean?
And would it be like as gritty or as in depth as how Money and Violence is? Like how you be writing, like yo, you be making it like you can smell the hood.
I'm gonna say this.
While you watching, cause I'm saying you coming up with your day ones, making them actors, but making them like people follow them when they in the streets, and I see them at events or whatever, like saluting them proper, like yo, how the next scene gonna be or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The network process is something totally different, right? Because see, Money and Violence is something that I wrote on my own. I mean, literally every word that came out of every character's mouth, every scene, every plot line was written by me. With the network process, you know, you have a writer's room. So you have a collaboration of writers. You have 5 or 6 writers. Like with Godfather Harlem, we had about 6 writers in the room. I mean, amazing writers that I learned so much from. You had Chris Brancato, who was our showrunner and head writer. He's the guy who created Narcos, amongst you know many other shows, and he's somebody who, I mean, when I tell you I learned so much from, and it's a collaboration.
Yes,
you know, I respect him a lot because when he reached out to me, you know, he told me, he said, look, I have all these great writers in the room, you know, that have so many great Hollywood credits, but I need someone in the room who actually knows these people that we're writing about. You get where I'm coming from? And since you're from that environment, I would love to have you. And I think that that's missing a lot of times.
Right.
You know, if they do a show about doctors, if they're doing ER, they're gonna have a doctor in the room.
Right.
You understand, as somebody for them to consult with, and if they're doing a show about
That's
the
more,
judicial system.
I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but that's basically more hands-on.
Yeah, exactly. You know, cause what it comes down to me, what I thought of the other day, I said, you know, that's so crazy. Hollywood makes movies about prehistoric times, and you hear dinosaurs roaring when no human being alive has ever heard a dinosaur before. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that when it comes to us, that's what goes on.
Right.
I think that when we see us depicted on screen, it's a perception. It's what these people in this room think we are, but it's not who we actually are. And I think that this is why Money and Violence was embraced so much, was it was like, wow, this is the first time that I truly see us on screen. You know, I try to make these people understand that no bad guy, well, what society labels the bad guy.
Right.
No bad guy thinks he's a bad guy.
Exactly.
Crime is not done out of enjoyment. People don't wake up and go, damn, I can't wait to rob this bank today. No. Crime is done out of survival.
Yeah.
You understand? Circumstance, exactly. So you have people that are put in circumstances where they feel that they have no other option, and then that's the route that they go. And through repetition and doing it over and over and over, it becomes a way of life for them.
Because see, you touched on a point. If they don't have, if that's all they think that they have, then that's their reality.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're a thief and that's all you think you can do, then you're just gonna be the best thief you can be.
Yeah, exactly.
But another thing you touched on, I like how you said, and even for like our younger viewers and stuff like that, how you said you did this, you did the clothing line, it didn't work out. You did this, it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think for the younger generation, they're quick to give up.
Yeah, you know. And it's funny you say, I was watching National Geographic the other day, and I was watching this show on the hunting habits of big cats, tigers, lions, cheetahs, and a very interesting fact that they said, they were like, you know, people aren't aware that 60% of their young perish out of starvation.
Right.
And that's due to the fact that they're only successful maybe 1 or 2 out of every 10 hunts. And it kind of blew my mind, because I said, wow, it's not just us as human beings. This is a characteristic of life, that you're guaranteed to fail more than you succeed.
Right.
And the key to success is to not stop trying and to keep going.
Consistency.
Yeah, exactly. It's to remain consistent and to keep pushing forward, regardless of whatever.
I need this.
Yeah, because
Sorry about that. You did say 3. Sorry about that.
No problem. Our young, they seem to be so into instant gratification.
Right, and see, the thing with the younger generation is that they're into that whole starving artist mentality. Like, I'm gonna starve until I make it. But that's like reverse. Like, you need to get a job and do what you gotta do, and then when it pop off, then okay, you good, you can do it. But
Just keep the boat afloat doing something else, that even if you don't want to do it, just take the proceeds from that and put it into what you want to do.
Yeah, one thing I learned is life is about discipline and sacrifice, and I think what it is with our young is that they lack discipline. You know, and I think that this reflects all across the board. Everything from succeeding in life to relationships.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize it. People think that all that's required in love is love, and that's not true. It's love and discipline. You know, we're all human. You could be married 30 years and love your wife or love your husband. You're still gonna find other people attractive. But what stops you from infidelity and going outside of your home is discipline. And that's what most people lack. They don't have the discipline to not do what feels good.
Right. Yeah, that's
Totally correct.
I think your mic is working now.
Mic on?
What's going on, y'all?
There you go.
What's going on?
You already know. We got it.
It's Mr. Real.
You gotta
N-word
cue 'em
over
in.
everything.
You gotta cue him in.
Yo,
Remember, you cue everybody in today.
we got my man D-Bucks in the building. Money and Violence representative, actor extraordinaire. Sac Passe, Nabule, to my crew. You already know. Anytime I salute y'all, I'm Trini bloodline, but y'all know how I give it up for
We all
y'all.
the same,
Yeah,
brother.
exactly. Factuals.
Man, I was telling somebody the other day, yeah.
Especially in that Flatbush area, we
Wow.
all together. You already, son. We all know each other. Mama hand with the pot.
Exactly.
Like, yo, you want something to eat? We know each other. You know what I mean? So I salute you properly for coming through.
Much appreciated. Thanks for having us.
No doubt, always.
So Mo, I know you dibble and dabble in the Ralph Lauren for like years.
Oh, man, dibble and dabble.
No, I know.
I was part of laying down the foundation of this thing, man. Come on,
Good
man.
I'm
segue.
being modest.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Like, Live Like Us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That was my right hand man when I was like 15, 16 years
Right,
old.
wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's so crazy because like me and him got pictures together,
Right.
right? And I'll be like, damn, I can't even post this dude.
You can't put it all black.
Yeah, and
Nah.
this was my right hand man.
Right.
You understand? And shout out to him, you know, just to see. I mean, but he been doing it big since we was kids.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
his collection.
Yeah, he's
so
oh,
crazy.
but his collection was. Listen to me. Let me put you on to something.
Right.
His collection was that big back when I was 16.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, they robbed his crib back when I was 16 and took all of his pieces, everything. And then he came back with a vengeance, and his collection got 3 times the size.
Yeah.
He got vexed.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Same idol.
Yeah.
Same color.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the retro stuff?
Some pieces I dig, right?
Right.
But what I don't like is, I didn't mind the retro at first. Like when Ralph did the retro teddy bears not too long ago, he came out with the cream sit down and the blue sit down, but he did not place the RO92 on it, so that way you could disparage between the two, right? But what I'm not fond of, and what I thought was a disrespect to those who were so faithful to the culture, was when he came out with the navy blue crest knit, the exact same thing, which was wool, where you can't even tell the difference between the vintage piece and the retro piece, because I felt that to all the people that paid so much homage to you for all these years and held these collections, what you did was you just lowered the value of that.
He devalued it.
Yeah, you devalued
That's
it.
what he wanted to do. That was what he wanted to do.
Which in all honesty, I don't understand the logic behind it.
See, the logic is, well, for them, because, I talk to them sometimes.
He in the room.
So basically what they're doing is that they see eBay and they see all these guys are caking and making like 2,000. This is like 3-4 years ago. They're trying to kill that market and then to make it to their own. So they're gonna retro everything.
Impossible.
And oversaturate it.
But that's impossible. You know, that's like, in order for you to want to make an antique
Right.
no longer an antique, you're kind of killing a part of your brand.
Yes, exactly.
You know, you're actually killing your lineage and your legacy. I mean, because truth be told, you've just killed the feeling, and I say that because.
Well, if I got a line up for your clothes, you killed the feeling from me being what I used to be back in the days.
But this is what I'm like. I know that, bruh, I could have went out there and bought a $20,000 Louis Vuitton jacket. It does not feel the same as when I threw on one of my silk crests, or if I threw on, you understand, my gray turtleneck cashmere bib, or
the barbershop.
yeah, you understand what I'm saying? It didn't feel like when I threw on a Universal or anything, because there was a history that came with that.
Right.
There were memories, it was a nostalgia. You understand where I'm coming from? So when you do that, what you actually do is, you make the clothes no longer personal to me.
Right.
Now it just becomes clothing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I just think it's like they're just trying to basically dumb it down to make it like where everybody, they want all these young kids wearing P-Wings, all these young kids wearing, crest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
They're trying to. It's like think supreme. That's the problem.
that is a problem.
That's the
because
problem.
because I think it's a lack of respect for the consumer.
Right.
You understand? When you run a business, regardless of whatever, you have to have respect for those that put you in power. No matter if you're the vendor and you're the one that's dishing out what it is that they're wearing, you have to you have to have respect for your. Everyone wants to be respected. Not, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna go the racial direction, because. We've heard since we were, Ralph Lauren doesn't want black people, and I'm not even gonna go in that direction, but I'm just saying I think it's a lack of respect for the consumer.
I mean, they brought on a jacket that said Boosters on the back.
Wow.
But
You know
yet,
what I'm saying?
but yet won't pay homage.
Exactly.
To,
You know what I'm saying? But I think they quote unquote, they're like giving us a backward slap. They're trying to pay homage but backwards, like.
Yeah, well,
We know you did that. Here, take that.
They put the spotlight on certain collectors.
Yeah.
When they want to,
With the app.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's whatever.
because I don't even get why they would want to get into. See, I would compare what Ralph Lauren did to what pretty much destroyed Boyz II Men, right? Boyz II Men was timeless. Boyz II Men made timeless music. End of the Road, I'll Make Love to You, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. But the second that Boyz II Men tried to do what was popular, it destroyed them because their music was timeless.
Right.
So they could have not started trying to do the pop music and kept making
And
music
still
that people
eat
would have been playing a million years from. Exactly.
They would have been into
They had their
realm
lane.
of Temptation.
They had their
the
lane.
Four Tops, the
Bruh,
Mad.
yes.
There.
They
I feel
had
you.
their
I feel you.
lane, and what
Right.
they did was
Deviate from
they attempted, because it was what was popular, to go into another lane. Me, for instance, people say I'm a dinosaur. And that's because I refuse to change.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from? And when I say I refuse to change, I'm all about improvement, So, of course, I'm constantly trying to better myself
Right.
every single day, but I refuse to metamorphosize simply because it's what's popular.
Right.
You're never going to hear me say no cap. You're never going to hear me say facts because I'm not. Bruh, I totally reject all of that BS. You understand? You're never going to catch me doing certain things, and it's only because that's not who I am, and I'm not going to become that simply because it's popular, bruh. Like,
I mean, you gotta be true to yourself.
yeah,
You can't just culture vulture.
because this is the thing. There's a new slang that comes out every 6 months.
Right.
What am I, a chameleon, bro? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. How can you be you if you have no true form?
You gotta stand for something.
Yeah, you gotta stand for
some kind of
something,
structure
man.
in your life at a certain age in your life.
How-
You know what I mean? Because you've seen so much, and so
Yes.
much other people go through certain situations. Like, nah, I ain't going that way.
If you
I ain't
let-
going this way. So you find your own lane at 40, 45. You supposed to find that shit and be like, yo, this how I guide myself because I got like a couple of kids watching me. That's my kids. And my offspring, that I need to show them a proper direction so when they get to my age, they can level up on top of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's how you do.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, I think definitely once you have kids, you have to focus yourself
Right.
because they're watching you,
True indeed.
whether you're doing right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
They're watching you, and you want to show them, like, listen, stuff may not be perfect, but I'm handling it. And especially when you got boys.
Now they want to see how you gonna handle it, basically.
And my thing is, you cannot let society dictate who
Yeah.
you are. Because for a very long time, it was that the one-eyed man was king in the land of the blind. But what it has become is the blind have pretty much manipulated the one-eyed man into thinking that sight is overrated. Yo, it's nuts, bro. It's nuts out here, bro. The blind have convinced the one-eyed man that sight is overrated. So now the one-eyed man is walking around with his one eye closed, trying to be accepted, tripping all over the place and making a fool of himself. Just, and I try to make people understand that just because the majority of the world has gone crazy doesn't make crazy sane. But I really think that that's what's going on, is that it's become cool to be crazy, right? Because so much of the world, you know, lack of principles, lack of morals. What we see all over social media is nuts, bro. It is nuts, and there is nothing you can do to convince me that crazy is sane. I'm sorry.
And that's because of social media. I think
That's what it is.
One of the problems. You know, it can create a facade like you can be living a life you don't even live.
See, but I think it was always like that, and the reason I'm saying is because we all know that ever since we were kids coming up,
Right.
there were always more followers than leaders. I think that social media just makes it more visible. People were always out there getting jumped, but it seems like it happens more because now anyone can record it, and now it's happening right in front of your face. So
And
now,
and I didn't mean to cut you off on your wisdom, but in Brooklyn you needed to be at a certain location. Like, yo, you heard what popped off at King's Plaza?
And this is-
Yo, you heard what popped off at RKO Kenmore? Yo, you heard what had popped off at Empire?
and this is what I'm saying.
It was locations now.
So
So
now
you had to be a name brand.
You
You like,
no
nah, them
longer-
niggas that be wearing on the polo. Da-da-da. And then your name started resonating, and it was a street thing. You know what I mean? Your name, it wasn't no social media.
None of that.
It was
You know
like
what it
that.
was when we were coming up?
Mm.
You had to earn everything you had. And when I say earn, I mean you had to earn the right to come outside. You had to earn the right to wear those sneakers. You had to earn the right to wear that jewelry, right? Now I sit back and I'm like, yeah, I'm watching 18-year-old kids wearing gold presidential Rolexes. And I'm not condoning violence, bro, but what I'm condoning is order. What I'm condoning is order.
Cause you
right?
looking at that and you like, damn, back then that used to be food.
Bruh, that was food. Because what you're saying is anyone can be king.
Right.
Anyone can be king. And what you don't realize is all kings have followers. You understand? So when you hand that peasant a crown, right, and you let him walk around as if he's a king, he's going to gain followers and he's going to mislead more people. And this is what people don't realize. So it's not me. I'm not condoning violence. What I condone is order. And I think that that's what's lacking. That's what's lacking. That's why you can have a situation where you have a Kodak Black disrespecting Nipsey Hussle's memory the way he did, right? And it's not about condoning violence, but what it's about is setting an example. Yes, we're all about unity. Yes, we're all about peace, but there has never been peace without some type of war. And this is what people don't realize. As black people, we tend to think it has to be one or the other, not realizing, no, it requires both. You understand? There can never be unity until we discipline those that disrespect the cause, because they will continue to disrespect the cause. So in a situation like Kodak's, yeah, whatever, we don't want your apology. You're going to get hands and feet put on you, bro. And it's simply because, so that the next time you think of doing something like that, you'll think twice about it.
Sure, dude.
Yeah, well,
Or the next person too.
Or the next person.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, because the shit he said was just straight left. Like,
Yeah, but it's not a surprise to me because
Nah, it wasn't.
we're dealing with a generation that's all about disrespect, and they're all about disrespect because they don't have to earn anything. They don't have to earn the respect anymore. You know, it's funny, I was gonna post something on my Instagram today, and it was I was gonna write, there is a huge, every rich nigga ain't a real nigga. And the problem is y'all can't decipher between the two.
right. They don't know the difference.
Yeah, y'all think rich is real.
Right.
When one has nothing to do with the other. Rich can be bought, real cannot. Rich is what you have, real is who you are. That's two totally different things. But we live in a society of people who haven't been through anything,
Right.
right? But they're given a platform. Social media, I mean, I think the internet is the gift and the curse. Because it's a great tool. It's a great tool for business.
Right.
You know, I can sit from my living room, create something like Money and Violence, and it can spread all over the world. But at the same time, the other side of it is, I can be an absolute idiot and I have a platform for my voice to be heard. And the dangerous thing about the internet and social media is if a lie is told enough times, it becomes the truth.
Yeah.
So therefore, I can state something. If 100 people repost it, it becomes the truth.
As quick as that.
And that's the sad part about it.
No, but he's right though.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on. It's just going on over and over and over again. Like people
Exactly.
are putting stuff out there, and then like he said, people are retweeting it. And they're running with it, and the next thing you know, that's the truth. Then how do you know the truth from
exactly no order, man. No, absolutely no order. I mean, it's chaos. When it comes to information, it's chaos out there in the world.
Yeah, but let's get into stuff more positive. So, do you like, you know, I know you write and stuff like that. Do you like the acting more than the writing, or you have one, or you like doing both now, or like?
I love writing. I love writing. You know, once again, I've always been the person that like to play the background, play the cut. I'm not much for attention.
Right.
At all.
But see, with the acting thing, you.
But that's why. Yeah, but see,
so do your lifestyle in real life depict how cool ass Rafe is? Cause that's the dude. That's the dude you wanna be. If you young, you want him to bring you up. If you his age, you want him to spar with you. Like, yo, you want his intellect. Like, yo, this how we moving. Like, no doubt. I'm moving how you moving, cause I see how you move. You know what I mean? So
I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this, right? Mo doesn't play Rafe. Rafe plays Mo. And that's the honest to God truth. And when I say that, Rafe and Mo are definitely not the same person. But Rafe's character is inspired from me.
Right.
You know? And it's so funny because I remember when Money and Violence first came out and it started getting popular. I had dudes I hadn't seen in a while hitting me up like, yo, you cheating. And I'm like, how am I cheating? They're like, bro, you ain't acting.
Wait, so was it initially?
Yeah, like.
Wait, did you initially write it for you, or you want at first it was gonna be for somebody else, and then you just took the role?
No, Money and Violence is not a true story, but it's based on reality, and it's pieces of my life just glued together.
Yeah, because I know when I used to watch it, I used to be like, man, this Rafe is ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And then actually I met you at the.
Ruthless in certain ways, and then you had dudes that would duck and see if they could come out the building so they don't have to piggyback piggyback somebody to the store.
I don't know if he remembers, but the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, he was with Tidal, and you whole. And we Money Violence, and I was with Thurston Howell, and I met him, and I was like, yo, yeah, that's Rafe right there. And he was crazy cool, like, I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying, like.
Rafe does what he has to, bro. Yeah. And that has been the entire thing with Money and Violence. Like, I've seen a million web series come out after Money and Violence, and I see that they've kind of did their version of it, but it's only on the surface. You know, I'll even take a character like Miz, right? Everybody think Miz is so ruthless, and what people don't get is the character Miz. If you listen to what he says, right? Yo, you got it on you. How can you not be strapped? Because you may have to defend your life one day. He never says you may have to take a life. He says you may have to defend your life one day. And people don't get the concept that the whole thing with Miz is I've grown up in this jungle for so long that I know I need to be prepared at all times. So before I give once someone says something to me, I don't know what's behind that. So before they get the jump on me, I have to get the jump on them.
Right.
And it's simple as that, but everybody takes it as, oh, he's this really wild guy, and it's not that, it's just that he's cautious. You know, so the entire concept of Money and Violence is just life in the jungle, man.
Right.
Life in the jungle, you know. And even to transcend, you know, back to the to what's going on with Nipsey Hussle, since that's so relevant. I think that's a perfect example. You know, everyone's saying, you know, Nipsey did such great in the community, but I think that especially for all of us that are coming up, we need to realize that doing good doesn't exempt you from the fact that you're in the jungle.
That's right.
And you can go to Africa to feed the lions, and you can go to Africa to save the lions, but that doesn't mean if the lions have an opportunity to kill you, they won't.
Right. True. Because like I always say on this podcast, I've said it many episodes, like we just have in our community, we have this crab in a barrel mentality that they see you doing well, and instead of like saying, yo, I can, you know what I'm saying, let me try to get some inspiration from that, they hate you.
See, but we have to take accountability though, and we have to take responsibility, because the reason I say that is, let's be honest, a lot of us that do well are all about self-gratification, and we're not about helping those around us. You understand? So after constantly coming up and watching people do well and leave them behind, or constantly seeing people do well and just come around and stun on them, you know, it's, bruh, like, and it's not me condoning, but in order for you to fix a situation, you have to understand it first. You have to understand it from both sides. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
And that's why with me, I'm always aware that I'm in the jungle. And I'm always aware that I'm dealing with people who, because of their circumstances, have become savages, right? So I think that, like with that situation, the same way you succeed and you expect people to respect your station in life, where you've reached, you have to respect your station in life. And what I mean by that is, you come into the NBA as a player, right? Now, the basketball court is your domain. If you're lucky enough to have a career good enough to become a coach, the basketball court is no longer your domain. Your domain is now the sideline. You don't belong on the court, because going on the court, you can get hurt.
Right.
If you've been a coach long enough, and you're lucky enough to become an owner, your domain is now the skybox. You don't belong on the sideline. You don't belong on the court. You understand? And you need to understand that you can help those on the sideline and the court more by staying in the skybox.
Right.
So the greatest thing you can do for those that you're helping is protect yourself and keep yourself guarded, because once you're gone, who's going to help them? And truth be told, if you truly love these people, they may be the same ones that if they get the chance, they will kill you, right? But you have to accept that because you're aware that that's their nature. That's why you're helping them. So you need to protect yourself from them in order to continue helping them.
That makes perfect sense.
Nah, because at the bottom line, what he trying to say is like people, places, and things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta surround yourself.
It's like
you put yourself in a certain plateau to be able to elevate the rest of the people, but you gotta still keep on keeping on.
Like,
you can't keep on looking back.
You can't be
like
naive.
saying,
You can't be naive.
You can't put yourself in harm's way.
Exactly.
Where something can happen.
Exactly.
Which is what he's trying to say.
Right.
And what I get.
Right.
You know, like, but he's right.
Mhm.
If you're at a certain point in life where you're at this point, you can't go down and expect people to.
Yeah, you know, and D. Warbucks, like he'll be a testament to that. You know, there are places that we're invited to, and I'm just like, bro, that's not for me anymore. You understand? And it has absolutely nothing to do with fear. It has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than I know that, okay, I could go there and I know this could happen and that could happen. So, bro, I'm very comfortable in who I am. You know, I don't even have to speak for me. Like, the streets will speak for me, bro. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody.
Right.
You know, and at this point.
What's your jacket? We'll allow for.
Yeah, and at this point in my life, you understand, bro, I'm a single dad. You know what I mean? And I have two daughters. I have a 20-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. I have a 15-year-old that lives with me. You get where I'm coming from?
Right.
And my job is to make sure that I'm here for her.
Right.
Facts.
Make sure that I'm here for my children, like point blank period. So therefore, when I'm sitting here like, oh, I'ma go because although I know something could happen, I'ma show niggas that I'm not this. Bro, what am I, retarded? I'm 42 years old, man. What do I have to prove to who?
Yeah. It gets to a point where you don't need to, like,
All you
you've
gotta
done
do
that
is
already.
prove to your
You've
kids
been
that
there
you're
already.
a good daddy.
Bruh, like, you know, and don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong. Let's not get this twisted. I am a man before anything. I am a man before anything. So there is no level of disrespect that will ever be tolerated. You get where I'm coming from? But I'm all about prevention is better than cure, bro.
All day.
You understand what I'm saying?
At our age.
Yeah, and especially if you've been around the block a million times and you know where the potholes and the traps are, why would I intentionally step on them? Just because I know how to get out of them? No, my foot don't need to be in shit. I don't need to be cleaning my sneaker. I know that if I step in shit, I'm gonna have to clean the sneaker. You understand? And I also know that just because I was able to clean the sneaker last time doesn't mean the stain is gonna come out the next time I step in
You
shit.
already know.
Like,
It's like you go to that party 20 times.
you get what I'm saying? Like,
Why go to the party the 21st time?
Yeah.
you know, and we live in a culture where people say so much, yo, I've been doing this for 30 years, and bro, it still excites you? You're not bored yet? Like, that is what baffles me, because I know I've been doing the party scene and all of this since I was 16 years old. And the
Sometimes
truth
you
is,
feel like
it bores me.
You
now.
in there like you chaperoning.
Yo,
Like, yo, what am I doing here?
Yo, bro, think back to when we were 25 years old and you were in the club and you saw the 40-year-old dude. You're like, why is he
Yo,
here?
exactly.
What is he doing
Who
here?
invited Pops?
He don't got family at home. Like,
Yo,
right.
Like Warbucks will tell you, 9 times out of 10, we go out, and what do I say when I get there?
I feel out of place.
What am I doing? Like, what am I doing here,
I
bro?
mean, look, even last night I went out with my lady. Her cousin was celebrating a friend's birthday, and
Yeah.
we went out. And as soon as I got there, man, I said, "Yo, what am I doing
Yeah,
here?"
what am I doing
But
here?
you know, my lady said she wanted to go out and dance, and I said, "You know what? I'm gonna make sure she has a good time. We're gonna go and roll." But I got in there and I said, it's not even me. And that's when you feel the growth. At some point,
It wasn't,
you feel
look,
like,
but it wasn't like that wedding party you went to. You
Oh,
was
no,
lit.
no.
You was lit. Yo, my dude was video, and I was like, yo, I wish I was there. This dude is having fun.
You see, that's our thing though. Like,
Right.
we'll prefer to go out to eat, or
Of course.
we'll go to the crib.
Or we'll go
He'll
to
come
the
to my
crib,
house, I go to his
I
house,
go to his crib, we'll have a barbecue
Yeah.
on my deck, like you understand, just amongst us.
and that's
Like,
a great time.
this
Yeah.
is, I mean, this is how I see it, right? It's the laws of physics. 2 things cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
Facts.
So you cannot value what's important and value what's not important at the same time.
Right.
If you value what's not important, you automatically don't value what is. And I think that that's the problem with society, right? It's been all about the bag. It's been all about this so-called bag, right? Money over everything. Well, people don't realize money over everything means money over principles. It means money over everything that's real. Money isn't real. You know, money makes the world go round. No, it does not. People's dreams do. And it just so happens that you get money in the process of achieving your dreams. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that people value what's not important. They value all the superficial bullshit. They value the jewelry. They value the cars. So therefore, they don't value the love. They don't value everything that is real. So you're going out and you're saving up your little paycheck for 2-3 weeks to go get a section, to get bottles, and at the same time you're neglecting your children, you're neglecting your family in order to make this happen. Because your priority is what is not important. You cannot prioritize what's not important and prioritize what's important at the same time, bro.
Right.
It's impossible.
Yeah, because they don't even value life half the time. And that's a problem.
Yeah, see, but I also think that that is because they've never been in the thick of it. You know, I constantly say, people don't understand how much violence I had to go through in order to be this calm. You get where I'm coming from? When you're dealing with people that have never been in real situations, they don't understand how quick things can get hectic, how quick things can get funky, bro.
Yeah.
You know, these people, their version of reality is what they see on television. You know, 90% of these people want to be rappers. They want to be entertainers, and that's why people are losing their mind on social media, because it's the camera. It's their opportunity to get their 15 minutes of fame. That's why you got dudes getting shot and they're on Facebook Live, because they want to be action heroes, bro.
Right.
They want, you know, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's truly sad, because, and that's why I say we need to change the structure and the narrative of who controls what goes on that television screen. You know, and it goes way beyond just us and our kids. It also goes to the world's perception of us, right? We attest everything to racism when it's not true, right? We're stereotyped. We think it's racism. It's not racism. Do you know what stereotyping is? Stereotyping is perception, right? If someone lives in South Dakota, has never been around a black person, but watches TV all day, and all they see is a certain perception of black people, and now when they see you, they automatically assume you to be that way. That's not racism, bruh. That is not. Racism is hate. That is not hate. That is, this is what I've been told you are. So it's a surprise to me when you're not.
That is miseducated.
That is miseducation, correct.
Yes.
Correct, and I think that we really need to begin to understand what racism is and stop putting everything in that box, because then we're not going to be able to solve the issue, because it's like looking for something in a box where you've thrown everything in there. You're gonna be looking in there forever to find it, bro.
Right.
Yeah, we attest everything to racism.
But you know, I think for most people it's just easy to, instead of like you said, solving the root of the problem, they're like, nah, that's racism.
Yeah.
Instead of just like really thinking about it, like how you just thought about it. People don't want to do that.
Yeah, man.
People are lazy.
And you know what? People are so much more about restating the problem than they are finding the solution, man. Like, because it brings attention to just constantly restate the problem over and over and over and over and over again, and it's just like, yo, could we stop restating the problem and just simply find a solution, man? You know, and back to perceptions. I'm trying to segue into this new series, The Spot.
Yeah,
I got dropped.
Let's get back. Well, we took it for a journey though.
Yeah,
to get back to where we need to get back to.
Yo.
He has a new series coming out, so
very much
so.
So. I got a new series coming out called The Spot.
Yes.
And what The Spot is it's a show. It's called The Spot simply because of this. The show is about a guy who came up in the hood and did really well for himself. Right? He did really well for himself, and he moved out the hood, and he got himself a penthouse downtown Brooklyn.
Okay.
Got himself a little penthouse penthouse in downtown Brooklyn, and but he has another place that's a stash spot where he keeps his safe. Somebody finds out, they rob his stash spot, they take his safe with everything he's hustled for his entire life. So now he has to start back from the bottom. But being that my shows are more based on reality, not only is he climbing himself up from the bottom financially, but he still lives in his penthouse, so he has to deal with still scrambling to pay the overhead of living in this place that he can no longer afford. This story, what it deals with transition. It deals with transition because he has a girlfriend who's trying to help him shake his mindset, because he's moved out the hood physically, but mentally he's still there. Plus, he's surrounded by all these people from his past who he's pretty much outgrown, but they're holding him back. They're holding him back. So the show, I mean, it's very, very, very interesting. Not only is it very interesting, but it touches on gentrification. It touches on so many different things.
Which is stuff that we're going through right now.
Yeah, which is stuff that we're going through right now. I touched on gentrification simply because I live downtown Brooklyn. You understand? And
you see it every day.
yeah, bro. And sometimes it amazes me because I'm like, wow, 15 years ago, we would have never imagined that there would have been a time that a black man could be out of place living downtown Brooklyn. Like, it's nuts. Right. It's nuts. You understand where I'm coming from? And it's so funny because I live in a penthouse, right? So I thought it was just me, right? No, I really thought it was just me, I swear to God. Right. But last year, my 15-year-old daughter moved in with me.
Okay.
And like 2 months into it, she comes to me, she's like, Dad, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, sure. And she's like, why is it that every time you get in the elevator and you press P, you feel this bit of tension from the white people in the elevator? Like, you shouldn't be pressing it.
Exactly.
And I was just like, wow, because I feel it all the time, but I thought it was just me.
But no, you know, to them, because that's just the ignorance.
Yeah.
It's not ignorance.
No?
It goes back to stereotyping and perception.
Got
it goes to society has told me you're not supposed to live there.
And because of your DNA and your bloodline that's in your daughter,
I pick up on it.
She picks up on it too, and she was like, "Is it just me, Daddy? Is this
exactly
just me,
because it's like that? I feel this uncomfortable energy every time I do this. I mean, am I spot on or am I wrong? You understand? And then with me, because I show my daughter all spectrums of the world, and I break down to her stereotyping and perceptions of who we are, and I also tell her that don't take it anyway. It's just that the world has told them that we're not supposed to be here.
Right.
So because of that, because that's not hate. You know what that is? I'm surprised. This perplexes me because the world told me that this doesn't really exist.
No.
You get where I'm coming from?
So it's almost like programming. Like
it is programming. That's exactly what
automatic.
it is.
Yeah. It's like they're programming them to think one way, so then when they see you or your daughter come through, they're
and I've seen this many, many times because even when I started doing Money and Violence and I would do
Because
interviews.
now it's like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but now it's like an investigation. Like, yo, you know the young lady that goes up to the penthouse?
'Cause you know that-
that father?
'cause you
Yeah,
know
what
that
did she
question.
do?
Bruh.
Now it's investigating
It's totally-
me. Why you investigating me? Because I'm
But
doing something and putting my daughter in surroundings
But
that
you-
I think she deserves.
But you also
and I
have to
deserve.
understand that with my situation, it's a total unicorn because it's like, wait, single black man raising his child?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, like, so not only is it where I am, but it's my total situation. Single black man raising his child, doing what? Wait, he's a writer? What? You
For
understand?
who?
Yeah.
And what? And
It,
that's what I'm
he
saying. When
did-
they start
he did this on his
investigating, then
own.
they start choking up. Like, oh my gosh, oh.
No, but you know what? And I must also say in their defense that when we sit down and talk, and it's, wow, you know, I never would have imagined that you're like this, right? Back to perception. But then once they get to know you, yeah, they embrace you.
Right, exactly.
You get where I'm coming from?
But
Because-
then they supposed to start looking at their kids at the same age, like, yo, what happened to you? This dude is doing his numbers. You always coming with this complaining that, yo, they don't want to give me this, they don't want to give me that, but this gentleman is in the same writing skill set as you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got degrees, but you saying how hard it was for you to get yours.
Yeah, but you know what though? I can't. That's one thing I never do, right? And what I've been able to achieve does not guarantee that another person that did the same would get the same results. I mean, one thing I know about life, right, is that two people can do the exact same thing at the exact same time and get totally different results. You have people who have bust their ass day in, day out, 24 hours a day, pushing to get into entertainment and died never having got in. And you have people who did it for a year and made their way in.
Right.
You know, once again, like I said, you put in the effort, but God must do the rest. We must understand that achieving success is not up to us.
Sure indeed.
The most we can do is put in the effort, right? You put in the effort because you have to give God something to work with. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing, especially with us being in entertainment and us knowing how hard we've tried. And this is something I always tell to any female that's dealing with a man who is attempting to get his foot in that door. It's, listen, be there, give him support, but also understand that this may never happen. And embrace that from the beginning. Because I don't want you to have been there for 10 years and then start having resentment because it's like I wasted 10 years of my life. I need you to know that there's a strong possibility that no matter how hard he tries, this may never happen. But you have to go into this supporting him, accepting that and being okay with that.
No doubt.
Right on.
Right on. Message.
So Mo, so what's the next step for you? Like, you've been successful in a couple of genres, so what is your next step? Like, what's your progression look like at this point?
I mean, in all honesty, when you say I've been successful, that all depends on who lens you're staring out of. You understand what I mean? I'm grateful.
Right.
You know, like I always tell my guys, I'm grateful for how far we've gotten.
Right.
But we need to accept the fact that we still have a million more miles to go.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from? So, you know, when people say, yeah, you've been successful, it's all on, yeah, but who's, and I don't like to use who are you comparing that to. That I don't like to, because it's not about comparison, but it's all about, truth be told, when you've traveled 5 miles out of a 1,000,000-mile journey, it isn't really time to celebrate yet. I always, you know, I stay submerged in gratitude and I'm grateful for every step, but because that's what keeps me humble, and that's what keeps me grounded. Is falling in love with the journey and not focusing on the destination. You know, so I love work and I love creating. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm grateful for everything God has bestowed upon me. But at the same time, I also realize that all I need to do is keep creating to contribute to the world rather than to receive, and God will continue to bless me.
Do you see yourself in the future directing a movie? Because I mean, you're getting to a point where, I mean, you're writing and stuff like that. Directors, I know a couple of directors. They started from like what you do.
Yeah.
And then they just, you know.
No, definitely, man. I'm actually in the midst of writing a movie now. Our plan this year was just to constantly put out content.
Right.
You know, The Spot was a show that in December I decided, okay, in December of 2018 I decided, look, this year I want to, you know, hit the people with more content. Simply, not only because I wanted to give them work, but because, you know, I speak to the world through the content that I create, and I feel that the world needs more. The world needs more of those jewels. The world needs more of those lessons, you know. And it has nothing to do with me being all-knowing. No, it doesn't. It's just that I've lived and I know a few things that I'd like to share with the world. You understand?
'Cause, I mean, I do think you have a built-in advantage because you're a real dude and you've been through real situations. There's a lot of people that haven't been through nothing real.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also think it has a lot to do with perspective, right? And I say it has a lot to do with perspective because there's a lot of real dudes out there that have been through things, but what did they take from those things that they've been through, you know? You can have a guy who's been through a real situation and he could have pretty much took the negative away from it. You know, the thing with me is, in my life, it's the perspective that my experiences have given me. I think that I have a unique perspective on things, right? Which is, at the end of the day, with me, it's all about contributing to the world, right? And I think that that's why everything following Money and Violence kind of fell a little short, right? Was because people don't get that Money and Violence was not a show that I created to become famous or to get attention. Money and Violence was created simply because I felt that what was lacking from our neighborhoods was the voice of the elder, right? When I came up, there was always older dudes on the block to kick jewels, to yo, shorty, no, don't do that, like, yo, do it like this. And I feel like that's missing. I feel like our older generation these days wants to be the younger generation, like, which is nuts to me. You understand?
It's like backwards.
Yeah, so I wanted to create a platform in which I could speak to the youth through, right? So my purpose for Money and Violence was to contribute to the world, whereas everyone else saw the success and figured we would do the same thing, but their purpose was to receive. And that's why I think that it will never be the same, because we have two totally different goals. My goal is constantly to contribute, you know. If I receive in the process, then great, but that is never my goal. That's never my goal, man. So at the end of the day, once again, it's simply contribution, man. My way of giving back. My way of giving back, you know. And my daughter's in this series.
It's creating that footprint. It's creating that footprint.
Yeah.
You want to leave behind a legacy for your kids, and it's like just to show them that anything is attainable. We was talking about that the other day, like, you know, once our kids see like this is reality. It's not just on TV. It's not a tall tale, you know. And it's like once we set that precedent, there's no balance to that.
And I think that's important too, especially for the youth and your kids to see the stuff that you're doing, the fruits of your labor almost.
Two proud moments, right? My daughter has. All right, first of all, let's talk about this. The fact that this entire series is shot in my apartment. Right?
Wow.
Right. The entire thing is pretty much shot in my building. That's why it's called The Spot.
Okay.
Because it's one crib, right? Yeah, like I did that because I wanted to challenge myself as a writer, right? I really wanted to challenge myself as a writer, and I was like, okay, I did what I did with Money and Violence. Kind of won the race, but then you still have people that think that's luck. You have people that are like, whatever. But I'm like, okay, but if I win the race with one leg tied behind my back, they can't deny me.
Right. So are you saying you almost like reinvented yourself, like as far as like you're writing, like you're saying you're doing it in like one spot? Money and Violence was like on location.
It was yeah. Money and Violence was all over the place. I mean, you know, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I did it for a couple of reasons. I did it because the budget was totally out of our pockets, number one. I also did it because we shot it in winter and I didn't want to go outside and shoot in the cold. It's the honest to God truth. And I did it because I wanted to challenge myself as a writer, and I don't like the word prove, because prove means I'm looking for acceptance. I wanted to show the world what I'm capable of, and I wanted to show the world how good of a writer I am. Also, and I think it's going to be so evident when people see this show, my progression as a writer in the last 3 years. I mean, when you see the show, bruh, you're gonna be like, wow, like in all honesty. And you have to understand that in the last 3 years, I've been sitting and writing with some of the best. You understand where I'm coming from? One of my mentors, Charles Chick Egley, been in television for 40 years. I mean, created Dark Angel, worked on as far back as Moonlighting with Bruce Willis.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Moonlighting was lit.
Worked with Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, exactly.
And
Worked on
Max.
Chick Egley. Chick Egley worked on The Walking Dead, like all these different shows. I mean, amazing writer, right? One of my mentors that I've been learning from the last 3 years, and once again, you know, working on Godfather of Harlem, I was in the writers' room day in, day out for 3 months with Chris Brancato, with Paul Eckstein, with Larry Andrews, Heather Mitchell, who wrote on Scandal, Rashida Brady, Zach Kalik. I mean, with some amazing writers. So
I didn't mean to cut you off, but did they embrace you when you came in the room, or did they see you as, he write for that web series?
Nah,
Okay, cool.
bro.
How was it?
I've been embraced by everyone since I entered this game.
You think that's because of your aura?
First of all, I demand respect. That's number one.
Okay.
Look, I give respect to give respect. You understand where I'm coming from? And not giving me respect, that's not even an option. You know, we've even had that conversation. If I can't be given, see, I don't force respect. If I can't be given respect in the room, I'll simply leave. I mean, that's the only thing I control. I don't control what someone else does, I control what I do.
No doubt.
You get where I'm coming from? But no, I was embraced from the jump, and I mean, shout out to Chris Brancato, once again. That's same person that created Narcos, Paul Eckstein. I mean, amazing writers, and they're sitting there day in, day out. And I mean, and I'm learning all these amazing things, you know, like Chris told me, one of the gems that he gave me, he's like, Mo, you know, when you write a scene, a great scene sometimes is come in late and leave early, right? And this stuck in my head, and it's crazy because when I went back and watched Money and Violence, I'm like, why does every scene start with them giving each other a pound? Like, would it? Like, yo. Yeah, and these things that you overlook.
Right.
You understand? And he's like, yeah, bro, you don't have to come in the scene every single time with them greeting each other. Go right into the important part of the conversation and leave right after. You get where I'm coming from? And then he's telling me, scenes should be this length of time, no longer than this. You know, if you have a lot to say, then this long at the most. And I'm going back to Money and Violence, and I'm realizing scenes are 7-8 minutes long, and I'm like, wow. You know, but
Helping you sharpen
streamline, yes, sharpen the steel. But at the same time, although I was able to see my mistakes, I was also able to see how much raw talent I had because I was able to still keep people's attention, although the scenes were so long.
A lot of people.
Yeah, so at the same time, it's a give and take where it's like, it has nothing to do with I wasn't good. It has to do with you've just shown me how I can be better.
Fact, yeah, no doubt. You know, love it.
Yeah, but I'm really like excited for people to see this show, man. And once again, the amount of things that people are gonna learn from this show, I think that this show is important. I think it's very important, especially for our people, because it touches on so many things that are right in front of us, but we don't speak on. You know, the show touches on the fact, like, we have this dysfunctional thing about us as black people, that length of time that we know someone determines whether we should have loyalty to them or not, right? Whereas you can outgrow people, and simply because they've known you since kindergarten, you feel as if you're wrong for breaking loose from them, no matter how toxic they are to your life, because it's simply, yo, but I'm your day one. You know, and it's like, bruh, none of that matters. Either you're helping the cause or you're hurting the cause. It's one or the other. And even in my life, I've learned that sometimes you have to love people from afar. And it's not that I hate you. It has nothing to do with me not still loving you, but it has to do with the fact that you're no longer you no longer help me build, bro.
Right.
You understand? And because of that, and because my life is about progression, I have to love you from afar. I mean,
Yeah. Sometimes people are just for the season.
Yeah.
People come into your life at certain points in your life to assist you to just make it through that chapter. And it's not like there's
It ain't a
no
burnt.
loss.
It ain't a burnt bridge.
No.
Yeah, it's
not
no
at all.
loss.
Not
It's
at all.
just that
It's
there's
just
no
that,
build.
right.
The building stopped. That it got to its pinnacle, and then it's like, okay, we both got to move away from this, you know.
yeah, like I've had situations where I've noticed jealousies and envies in certain friends, and you know, I've sat them down and I've said, listen, yo, I've known you all my life and I love you to death, but what I see in you scares me. And it scares me because I don't ever want you to put me in a situation to do something to you. You understand what I mean? And because of that, bro, I have to leave you alone. You know, and the people in my life have been accountable enough to just say I respect it. You know, and it's funny because we would see each other after and it would still be hugs and like, bro, you know I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I love you too. But you can't be in my life. And the reason you can't be in my life, and this is a lesson, man, that I learned, right? Kings only keep the company of kings because being around a king makes a peasant feel inadequate.
Listen,
Oh, and that
we need to keep on repeating that one
For real.
over and over.
Yeah,
over
and a lot of times people think that people change and it's not. Yo, one thing I realize is those that achieve success don't change, it's the people around them that change. Right? A lot of times, yo, people you've known all your life and you bump into them and it's like, yo, bro, when am I coming to your crib? And it's like, homie, you never been to my crib. Why would you come to my crib now?
Why would you come now?
You understand? And one thing with me, it's simple as this, yo, bro. If you were always coming to my crib, I don't care if I become a billionaire and I live on Jupiter, you're always welcome in my house. But, homie, if we were just on a what's up basis, then expect us to remain on a what's up basis. It's as simple as that. Let's keep it how it's always been.
Keep it funky.
Keep it real.
That's all we know.
Yeah, because
right.
you're saying I changed, but no, bro, you changed. You changed. Because you're the one that wants to change the relationship, not me.
He's like, yo. You know what I'm saying? So when does the web series drop officially?
The spot will drop. Hopefully, I don't listen.
God willing.
I ain't saying no dates because I don't need no threats.
Yeah, 'cause
nothing
you
like
know
that.
they'll
But
come.
what I will say
Nah,
is,
you know, Prince be in your DM like, yo, bro, what's good?
what I will say is summer 2019.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Summer 2019 and yo man, y'all are in store. Y'all are in store for something special. You know, y'all are in store for something special because if anyone knows me, people know that what I create has purpose.
Right.
I don't create nothing just cause at all.
Substance.
Yeah, it has to be of substance, bro.
No, I'm definitely, no, people are waiting for it.
Yeah, for sure.
They're definitely waiting for
We
it.
gotta, I mean, my brother right here, man, he's had a gift with the pen from like me and him, we go back over 25 years.
25, 35, bro.
We go back.
35,
Nah, he gotta date us.
He
Don't
was
date
like, yo,
us.
it's just
35
yeah.
is the time, but
The gray is in the bed. Nah, we 25.
I just for men, man. I had this just for men run this morning, bro.
But I mean, Mo been ill with the pen from.
Yo, they used to pay me.
to write.
They used to pay me
poems
when
for
I was in high
girls,
school to write poems.
writing letters.
I'm gonna go right there.
Writing reports for everybody. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
Mo was the link.
I mean, he was the only dude, my dude, that I could read, man. I could read a book. It'll take me some time. This dude would read a book in a day and toss it to me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not finishing that in a day. But this is how he absorbed knowledge. So he was self-taught. That's why I always admired him, man. Like we've always, you know, it's crazy because people are like, yo, how the hell y'all been friends so long? And it's not to say we never butt heads. We butt heads, but it's like, damn, if you're my dude, like, we gonna go through that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be mad at you today, and then, yo, my dude, what's good, man? What we doing later, man?
Yo,
You know?
at the end of the day, this is how I always see it, right? We butt heads all the time, right? But I know that he always has my best interest at heart. So the funny thing is, whenever we butt heads, I always step away from it. Like, all right, think about this, because you know that if he's against what you're trying to do, he sees something that you don't.
Mm.
You understand? And I think that goes back to, you know, being accountable and being not afraid to look in the mirror and understanding that, bro, you're not perfect, man. You don't know everything.
Right.
And I think that that's the problem with most people. People think that you don't know everything, man.
But also, it's good to have somebody with you like that, where it's like,
Yeah, pull you up.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, you
And,
know,
you,
Prince, he
and,
does
where,
that- he does
and
that
where
for
you
me
want
all
it
the
from
time.
is your day
He-
one.
Yeah, he
gotta
does
be
that
each
for me
other's
all the time.
crutches.
Like, I could be
Yeah.
going through something, and he'll see it a different way.
Man, I'll give
And
him
you
a
gotta
call.
respect it.
I'll call
He'll give
him.
me
I'll
a-
call him in the middle of the night and be like, "Yo, son, I did this, I did that." He'd be like, "Yo,
Oh,
yo,
man.
Fritz, you bugging? What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
And I'm like, "For
yeah.
real? You think I'm bugging for real?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm trying to justify." He's like, "Nah, son, you bugging."
Right?
And
I'll
I
be
had
like,
to
save
sit
the
back and be
bullshit.
like, "All
I'm
right."
like, you're bugging.
But you know, a real friend, that's when you know you got a real friend.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Because you don't want somebody that's gonna always coattail you and co-sign
And
everything
it's-
that you
and
do,
yes, you
and you're
definitely-
wrong,
and it's yes,
and
you
you're wrong. So even though I'm like, this motherfucker's right, why he right? But you know, at least I got somebody to tell me, call me on my bullshit.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I value that.
You
And
want-
in our friendship,
you want that
I
in these
value that.
times
No,
of
for
your
sure,
life.
for sure.
You want
And that's
that.
why I tell people like, yo, you know, Jay-Z said something in one of his lyrics where, you know, they were like, yo, it's not many of us. And he's like, yo,
There's plenty of
there's
us.
plenty of us because we don't need so much people to be strong. As long as my crew around me is solid, I'm good. Like, our circle is not that big.
Nope.
We know a lot of people.
Right.
We know a lot of people. There's a lot of respect, a lot of love, you know, but as far as like our core, and it's crazy because all of us have history. Like, if you count our years together, it's like over hundreds of years as far as
And
loyalty and
that's
friendship.
where the link is so strong.
Yeah,
so you're
yeah.
only as weak as your strongest link. You know
Exactly,
what I mean? So,
exactly.
And one thing I've also learned is 100 sheep led by one lion can beat 100 lions led by one sheep.
He dropping quotable.
Nah, bro, it's the truth, man.
Nah, yeah, I mean, you-
It's so, like, I sit back, man, and I watch so many things take place, and I'm just like, you know, life keeps teaching and I keep learning, and I'm so amazed at the fact that, you know, I keep going through these experiences that I keep learning from, and it's making me sharper and sharper and sharper, and you know, and I'm grateful to the Most High, you know, to go through it amongst the people that I go through with, because, like, I'm at the point where I truly believe that I have some genuine people around me. You know, there has been a process of elimination that had to occur. You know, and I'm sure that the process of elimination will continue. You know, that's the sad thing, but that's just life.
that is facts. We was just talking about that earlier, and what I respect with you, like I said before, is that you a man of your word. Like I reached out to you early about coming on the show. You kept your word. Like, yo, you reached out to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm about principle, bro.
True indeed.
I'm about
True
principle, and with me, I'm not all about looking good in the light, no matter how lame my actions are in the dark. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a man at the end of the day, and first of all, I'm not capable of lame actions. It's just not in me. It's and if by some chance something was to happen it would have to be an accident, and even if I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I'm just, bro, like and this is what people don't get is, you know, like one time I had that video where I was talking to my people, and I was just basically telling them something. I'm like, yo, y'all think these Instagram quotes that I post or what I post, but no, all of those are a part of who I am.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life for me. It's a way of life for me. You get where I'm coming from? I wouldn't be able to write the things that I write if I wasn't of the cloth that I am.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm just glad we had this 50th episode with Mo.
Thank you.
I appreciate the
Because
love,
he
man.
dropped a lot of stuff that I just think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's needed to
we
be
need
said.
this.
Yes.
A person like him,
Yes.
we need stuff like this.
Yeah.
Positivity. Stuff is real, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing his thing.
No
this
doubt.
This is what we need. We don't need all the
other
crap that we, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
I can go on and on, but,
Nah, we good. We good.
you know, But
I know how you
when
feel.
does the Harlem joint drop, or is that in production?
Godfather Harlem
Yeah.
drops in October of 2019 on Epix.
So you got summer and fall on lock.
I just need to know. Listen, I just need to know when he's gonna do the movie.
I'm leaving.
Covered.
I'm also leaving. I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'm also leaving next week to go to LA for 3 months. To go right on another network show.
Hey.
You know, so
That's what's
so
up.
so I mean, listen, man. I just do my best to just keep doing right to the best of my ability, you know, and allow the Lord to do what He will with me, do His work. You know, it's like when I pray. When I pray, I don't ask the Lord for anything. All I ask the Lord for is I ask Him for strength, I ask Him for protection, and I ask Him. I always say, God, give me what You think I deserve. And the reason I do that is because then it leaves it in my hands to be deserving. It's pretty much that simple. It's pretty much that simple, man.
But get ready for the spot.
Oh,
Get ready for the
yo,
spot.
and shout out to my man Swan Gotti,
Christopher Pons,
Nadej
Tiffany,
Brown,
Richard,
Trendy Topic
Higgins.
Tiff, Richard Higgins,
Big Grand,
Cons Never Stay Sober, my dude Big Grand, also as well, Kojo, my man S.H. Gordo on Instagram, you know, that's my cast.
Oh yeah, you still taking music submit?
Yes.
Yeah, I seen you post that.
Yeah, you can go to on Instagram at The Spot web series and just click the link in the bio if you want to submit music. We're still looking for music. You know, by the grace of God, this will be a very big project, and I guarantee you this won't be like anything you've ever seen before. In all honesty, by the time you get to the finale of the show is an 8-episode first season. By the time you get to the finale of this show, there may not even be a film genre for this show because that's how different this show is. That's how different it is. You know, it's a drama. But at the same time, being that it's in one location, usually that's sitcom format. But it's not a sitcom. It's an actual drama. It's 30 minutes per episode, and it's just a really good show. You know, by my standards, I think the people will definitely enjoy it, and I'm looking forward. To the world being able to take a look at it and, you know, take a lot from it.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Shout out to our crew too. Cyrus, the producer, Baron LLC, his Instagram. Munch Dog, who's our DP, Say It Ain't So DVD. Our production crew, Strife Diamonds, S Diamonds 1 at Instagram. Light 718. Our guys, you know, it's a lot of work. We put in a lot of hours, man. Like, and you have to understand, a lot of people. Shout out to my man Pop from Project Heat, and my boy KD. They understood the dynamics of it. I remember I had a conversation with them and they said, yo, I don't know how y'all dudes put it together because it's not easy. Because what you have to understand, and I gotta shout out our cast. Our cast is amazing.
Oh yeah,
Like we came together. Mo had the idea in December. He said, yo, let's do something. And my man Cyrus, our other friend, you know, longtime friend, from the low era, and we told Mo,
like 15, 14
we told Mo, yo, let's do this. And we've been self-sufficient with our project. Like, we're doing this ourselves. You know, Mo is handling the camera. When we get done with rap, he's sitting down editing the project. You know, and my man Cyrus, he does sound, one of the few black soundmen in the industry in the United States.
Boardwalk Empire, worked on almost every show you can think of.
Yeah, Baron LLC, and the watchful eye of our guy Munch. You know, he's been with us since Money and Violence, and you know,
Munch is an amazing cameraman.
Amazing cameraman.
Amazing cameraman. An amazing editor. Like,
yeah. So we
Munch is my mentor.
Yeah, we got a dope crew, and you know, it's not work. Right. It's like when you're so passionate about what you're doing, it's not work anymore.
Yeah, don't feel like
you know, and we pushing.
Especially who you like to work around.
Definitely,
circle,
definitely,
you know what
definitely.
I mean? Yeah.
You see, it's crazy because when he created Money and Violence, you know, everybody just had to fall in place. Everybody behind the scenes, like I'm more so behind the scenes.
Right.
is a funny dude. He put me in front of the camera too, as a filler, and you know, it's crazy. I'm walking the streets, everybody like, oh, that's Bucks, whatever. He's a funny dude because I feel like I'm more of an asset behind him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He has the vision, and I have a little bit of expertise, and I feel like my capacity is to pretty much be behind him and clean up everything that he's doing that he can't take the time to because people don't even get it. He's on the camera, he's editing, he's writing, he's acting coaching.
A lot on his
so
plate.
it's a lot. So then there has to be pieces of the Voltron to be able to pick up other pieces.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have a dope cast. I'm very excited about the project. I can't wait till we drop it. I feel like it's gonna be amazing. A lot of people try to compare it to Money and Violence, but I tell them don't compare it because it's two totally different projects. And
But I like how Mo was promoting it, like reintroduction.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let me
Like,
tell you
yeah.
something. Let me tell you something. I really believe, right? Money and Violence was one of the first projects in a long time that represented the authentic Brooklyn as a whole,
Facts.
right? And since then, you know, not to look down upon anyone else's project, not at all, not at all. You know, every project that has come out, every web series has been great.
'Cause they was
in its
all
own
needed.
right. Yes, yes,
Right.
in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the representation of Brooklyn as a whole, not just the gangsterism, not just the tough guy, because the one thing with Money and Violence, right? I remember being on set, and I remember actors when we first started asking me, yo, why we gotta speak so intelligent? And I'm like, bruh, because we're not all fools. Because at the end of the day, a lot of Hollywood has depicted us in ways that we're not. You and I both know, very intelligent dudes in the hood, right? And like I always say, you see these dudes who are 16, 17, making all this money, whether it's on the corner, driving $100,000 cars. The ability to do that doesn't come without brain capacity. And had they been put in another route, they probably would have been running Fortune 500 companies. Had they grown up somewhere else and had other resources available to them, had what they seen push them in another direction, they would have been able to succeed in other things. You understand? And I just think that, because that's the one thing I always keep in mind, is not to depict us as savages. Not to highlight just that, because the rest of the world is doing enough of that as far as depicting us as that. You know, to depict us as intelligent people, because like I always said, with Money and Violence, yo, even the guys you consider criminals go home and hug and kiss their kids just like everybody, man. Y'all act like these dudes have no love in their heart.
Yeah.
And one thing that I know growing up is, and I've had friends who were on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. I've had dudes that were most wanted in Brooklyn. But truth be told, no matter how many bodies they caught, no matter how many warrants they had, these were some of the warmest, most loving people that I know.
And came from good stock.
Yes, and came from good stock and respectable people. It's just that they were put in situations where they felt that they had to do what they had to do, point blank, period. So I think that it's more important to the world to show that than it is to show the ruthlessness, because the world already knows that we're ruthless. The world already knows that. So at the end of the day, it's like, let's show them something they don't know about us.
And even to say one more thing, even the shows after Money and Violence, you can see your blueprint is on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want, maybe they ain't gonna come to say you, you know what I'm saying?
Which they don't need to.
But you can see it,
Which-
because even I can see it.
Yeah, which they don't need to, because at the end of the day, listen, man, whether I inspired you, whether I didn't, whether just hearing about the success of Money and Violence pushed you to do whatever project it is that you did, a king that needs to be told he's a king isn't a king. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Hey.
it is what it is, bro. You know, I don't need to be told what I am.
No doubt.
I know what I am.
No doubt.
Like, point blank, period,
It's
man.
all
So,
about the spot.
so much love to all those out there, you know, who picked up their camera and started shooting and creating their own narrative. Much love to y'all, man, because at the end of the day, y'all are the ones keeping the dream alive.
That's
you know,
it.
so look out for the spot, man. I'm telling you, the spot. At the end of the day, the log line is it takes for you to get to the top to realize how close it is to the bottom. So.
So yeah, man, this was like a informative 2 hours, 2+ hours.
A lot of jewels.
You know what I'm saying? We could go on forever, but you know.
Nah, we gonna pull up when he in Cali.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
feel free.
That's it.
Feel free, God. I'm just saying, like I said, I just worked on Godfather of Harlem, and I'm about to work on another big network show. I'm just not. saying
Nah,
anything.
nah.
Don't disclose
Nah.
anything.
Yeah, I'm not
Don't disclose
disclosing
anything.
it as of yet.
It's just a blessing to have you here, bro, on a
That's
Sunday,
right, it's just-
and you taking your time out of your busy
it's-
schedule to do what you
It's
do.
only right, man. It's only right, bro. Like at the end of the day, this is what it's about, man. It's about me learning and using every avenue available to me to share that with the people. It isn't. That's why it's called the gift. It isn't a gift if it isn't shared. If it isn't given, bro. Gifts are not kept for self. Gifts are given. You know what I mean?
And I just like the fact that the jewels you drop. Like we have a worldwide audience. Like people listen to us in Russia and Germany.
With that said, follow me on Instagram at Cloud9TV _ at Cloud9TV _
I got to put myself as well too. B Warbucks 21. B Warbucks 21. Follow your boy.
Let's wrap this up. France, where can they find
No
you?
doubt. PRANCELO 247 on a Flatbush corner or a dollar cab. You already know. I support Church Ave to the fullest. Yo, I salute my guests to the fullest. Yo, Genki.
Hi.
Come through, yo, hey. Shout out. Your Instagram, brother, your Instagram. Say it. Say Instagram.
Instagram.
Yo, hey.
Yeah.
How to find you on Instagram? Say.
Follow me.
And
Yo,
one more
hey.
thing, and follow
Hey.
at the Spot Web Series, at the Spot Web Series on Instagram.
No doubt. Yo, we got Japan in here, we got Flatbush in here, and it's lit.
You wanna plug your stuff?
Yeah, go ahead. You can follow me, D Warbucks, DWARBUXX 21 on IG. Definitely follow at the Spot Web Series to keep you updated on what's going on. Just to get you more familiarized with our cast, see what we're doing behind the scenes. Definitely something for y'all to be excited about.
No doubt. Before you say your shout out, Scram just got on here. He said Lafayette alumni.
Oh, all day, man.
Already.
Lafayette, before Lafayette, it was Sheepshead Bay.
Nice.
Exactly.
No doubt. Appreciate you. Yo, you Scrams, you already know you need to be up next.
Yeah, so
Say no more.
you can find me on Instagram, Polo Parata. Listen, I want to say thank you to Mo
Yes.
for gracing us with episode 50. Thank you for anybody that has bought a pen, bought a tote bag, bought a shirt. From the Been There, Rock That. You know what I'm saying? We did 50 episodes. We do it for you. We try to educate you guys with entrepreneurs and people in the know. And I just like to say thank you from France.
Yes. Oigato gaimasu.
Yes. Obrigado.
Arigato.
So,
No doubt.
yeah, we'll be back season 4. Thank you guys. Been There, Rock That. Thank you, Rez.
Yes, Rez.
You know, greatest engineer ever.
You already.
Our timer is done. It's a wrap. We're gonna let Mo get out of here.
No doubt.
So ciao, we out of here.
Yo, Palm Sunday. Peace and love.
Hey. What was your feed like, bro?
Yes.
Oh, man, you know, I might as well show y'all some of the show, man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I give y'all a quick sneak peek. I got the first,
Yeah.
I got the raw edited first episode on my phone.
That's what it is. Thank you, my brother.
Come on, bro. It's only right, man. It's only right.
Awesome, bro.
Listen, man. At the end of the day,
We need that positive reinforcement. We don't got this shit out here like that.
We need helmets.
Thank you, my
Thanks
brother.
for having us, man. Appreciate you.
We're ready.
check it out. Let me see. Y'all saw the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me Alright, so I'm gonna show y'all the first scene. Remember what I told y'all about the whole penthouse thing and everything, right? Keep in mind, the scene has no audio, because there's supposed to be music behind it.
Right.
Okay? Y'all can see it?
Yeah, I got you.
That's my main character. So this whole thing is supposed to be set to music.
So this when he finds out he got robbed, or?
No, this is just the
regular?
first. This is just the first scene. They're actually coming back because they be hustling out of town.
Okay.
So they coming back from out of town. Like he already took the huge loss. So
Oh, okay.
he went out of town in an attempt to make some money back, right? So he's just coming home.
The look on his face, it don't look too good.
All right. But watch this. So they get in the elevator.
Duke ain't never been in the crib.
I really want to thank you. Nate, what was I supposed to do? Leave you out there? Could have thought I set you up. I'm gonna invite you out there. And look what happened. Bro, this is the game. This is every day in America shit like this happens. We were off point and we got caught slipping. What you want? They took everything. This trip was supposed to be my best payday yet. I'm just glad I had half of my shit stashed and I was able to come back with enough to pay my boy Dame for what he put out. He's not gonna make no profit, but at least he's not losing nothing either, man. You think he'll be one more stuff? I don't know. This is the first time he set us out. Look what happened. You know, probably think we're trying to play games with the bread. And that's not even a half. They took our phones. So I know he calling me like crazy and can't get through. I don't know what to do. Just hope I'm still good with Dane. As long as we cool, we'll always be able to go back OT and get more bread. That's not about nothing. Alright. I'm gonna head home. I haven't seen my girl in 3 days. I know I'm gonna hear her mouth. She didn't want me hustling in the first place. We'll figure it out. You'll be alright. You still gonna give me that bread? Yeah,
Yo, we just took a loss, man.
Got the bread.
Yeah.
thank you.
Dude, mad sketchy.
Yeah, that's the first one. We all been through this, bro. You see the rollie box, right? Pawn shop receipt. You know how real.
They had to throw it joining gems.
Wow, like,
Real.
you know, but this is one.
And that's just like you saying for overhead.
Yeah,
for him to
exactly.
maintain.
But no,
the
this is for
oh.
something else.
Oh, okay.
He about to make a phone call, right? So, listen.
Hey, how you doing? This is Mark. Yeah, I'm sorry about the late payment. Thank God this is the last one. Don't bust my balls. I've been on time with every other payment besides this one. Things didn't go as I expected this week.
Because he just got one.
But you gotta understand that I'm literally losing the shirt off especially for something like this. Yes, I know this isn't up your alley, although I don't know why. Listen, doing your best as an attorney is the most that I can ask of you. The check will be in the mail. All right, but check it. Can I ask a favor of you? You don't need to let the family know that I'm the one paying for this, all right? Let's keep that under wraps.
Wow.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
So, because of this scene, I'll just take you to this one scene real quick, and then you'll kind of understand, and I'll leave it at there. All right, so this woman right here is his side chick, right? And he hasn't spoken to her in months, right? Because when he took this loss, he cut her off, right? But he cut her off because he doesn't know where the loss came from. So he didn't want to put her in danger. You know what I mean? So now that he's trying to get back up, he calls her because she's the one that used to take the work out of town for him. So that's what he wants her to do for him. But the lawyer that he just paid is for her little brother. Because her little brother was 17 years old, coming home from high school one day, got jumped by a mob of gang members. And then trying to defend himself, grabbed a pen out of his pocket and stabbed one of the little kids. But the kid ended up dying. So because of that, they arrested the little brother and they're charging him with murder. So
the lawyer up.
yeah, so he's paying for the lawyer without her knowledge, right? Even though they haven't spoken in months, he's still paying the lawyer on the low. You know, and even though he ain't got it like that, that's why he pawned his road to finish the last payment.
Elevator was taking too long, so I just took the stairs.
Way too much energy.
So I'm surprised you called me. What you need to see me about?
I'm gonna need you to start taking trips again for me.
Oh. Okay. You know what it is.
All right, but check it. The first few goes, I'm gonna need you to do for free.
See, I ain't seen you in how long? And now you asking me to work for free?
I'll make the money up to you. You know I'm good for it.
Or how about you just make it up to me right now?
No bullshit, you know, silly.
And I'm not.
I'm about my money.
This is not. It's really important.
When have I ever let you down?
All right, good. So you can come through tonight and get the package. I'm gonna need you to leave first thing in the morning.
Or I could just stay here tonight and leave from here in the morning.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why? Your little girlfriend gonna be here?
What difference does it make? That's not a good idea.
See, that's why I be talking about you doing that bullshit, yo.
Oh shit. Listen, Nina, I can't pay attention to anything that's not having to do with bread right now. And I kinda need you to get on the same page.
Just let me know when you're ready for me to pick that package up.
Alright. What's up with Kevin's case?
Oh, you remember? It's been stressful. I feel like the prosecutor is doing everything in his power to make it seem like he was the aggressor.
It's good.
Well, I'm not surprised. That's the prosecutor's job.
Even when you're just a 17-year-old boy who's just defending himself,
They don't care
Gotta
about
keep it
that.
going now.
I guess there ain't no such thing as self-defense when you're black, huh?
Don't give up, though.
Who won't?
You sure, probably Wednesday, let you know, let everybody know we about
But
to
you
do
see,
a
it's a totally
conversation.
different type of
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying? It's totally different.
The whole perspective is really helpful.
Bruh, and this is what it is. The way I wanted this to be different, right? I feel a lot of the messages in Money of Violence
I mean,
because
possibly,
Rafe and Mitch
but
were
we'll talk.
superheroes, right? I wanted this guy to be a regular guy. So
Yeah,
yeah, this
sure,
guy's
sure.
hustling, he's selling drugs, but he's just a regular dude. And he's trying to, because the truth is,
That's why he had to take all the fortune and all that away from him.
yeah.